This is the Dzogchen Semde Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. This morning let us explore, what does Vajrasattva's bell actually teach you? And then we'll enjoy a nice group meditation. So we're going to start. Let's see here. I get to push the right buttons in the right sequence. So we're going to start with the question, God or mere archetype? So I'm going to, let's see. I think it would be easier if I just added a photograph, not a photograph, but an image to this teaching text. So that's what I'll do right now. I'm going to hit reveal. And I'm going to add this right here. Let's hit insert, pictures, device. Let's go to pictures. Let's go to Buddhist yoga. Let's go to Dorje Sempa. Let's go to solitary. Let's go to this one right here and make it fit. Okay, so here we go. And that should fit nicely up on the screen. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so let's begin with the topic. God or archetype? Well, it depends who you ask. How's that for an unsatisfying answer? If you speak to someone upon the path of Yang's religion, they'll tell you, a religious Yang, they'll tell you their point of view will be one that is rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel. And they will say, yes, this is a fully enlightened Buddha who lives in a paradise, and that you can supplicate them for favors through offerings and mantras and recitations and bowing. So get to it, kids. However, if you, like me, prefer the path of spiritual yin, spiritual matriarchy, as opposed to religious patriarchy, if you prefer spiritual matriarchy and you choose to be flexible, loving, rational, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind, because of that flexibility, you can see that things can mean more than one thing. Things can have figurative meanings. And it becomes very easy to look at this piece of Buddhist art as merely an archetype. When the Buddhist teacher who has influenced me the most, second only to the Buddha, would be someone, an Odiyanan of the Swat Valley, present-day Pakistan, whose name was Prahe Vajra. And he taught from a purely archetypical manner. So he wasn't like, hey man, you need religion and you need to visualize, you need to make offerings, and you need to mantras, and you need... No, he's all you need is mindfulness and meditation, and everything else either illuminates mindfulness meditation or distracts us from it. He was a very simple fellow, very trenchant and pragmatic. And so that's I began on Yang's path of religious patriarchy. It wasn't to my likings. I was eventually drawn to Yin's path of spiritual matriarchy. That spoke deeper to me. Perhaps it'll speak deeper to you as well. So we'll begin with the 6 ornaments. So in ascending order, the 6 ornaments would be the anklets, the bracelets, the armlets, the triple necklace, the earrings, and the crown. The actual objects themselves are meaningless. What is important is the number 6. It is, from the Mahayana perspective, it reminds us of the 6 perfections of a bodhisattva. From a certain point of view, those 6 perfections would be generosity, nonviolence, patience, enthusiasm, mindfulness, and meditation. These 6 ornaments are a universal archetype of our universal iconography of 99% of all Vajrayana art. So that is not unique to this particular archetype. But while we're on the subject, we'll explore another common element, which would be the 5 garments. The 5 garments in ascending order would be the skirt, the belt, the shawl, the scarf, and the crown tie. You see, European crowns were circular, but ancient Indian crowns were semicircular and held on with a cloth tie. These 5 garments reminds us of the 5 wisdoms that come, ironically, by applying mindfulness and emptiness to the 5 poisons. The lesson is it's safe to practice mindfulness. It's safe to sit in meditation and notice whatever comes up vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. Because by simply relaxing into our exhalation, not only are we protected from the tyranny of what we noticed, but in so doing, that which we notice is transformed. And I explored this a little bit in my last lesson, but I'll hit it again right now. For instance, as we relax into our exhalation, whatever whatever dread we noticed during our previous inhalation could transform into mirror-like wisdom. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever desire we might have noticed during our previous inhalation spontaneously transforms into discriminating wisdom. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever befuddlement we might have noticed during our previous inhalation automatically transforms into all-pervasive wisdom. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever jealousy we might have noticed during our previous inhalation spontaneously transforms into all-accomplishing wisdom. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever pride we might have noticed during our previous inhalation transforms spontaneously into equalizing wisdom. This is to be taken figuratively and not literally. Now we're going to come to that which sets this archetype apart from many, many others, and that is the bell or Gantha, and the also known as the Drilbu, if you prefer Tibetan, and the Vajra or Dorje. Now many, not all, but a good number of archetypes have these 2 implements. But what really sets this apart is the meaning of this archetype. And this is just too small, so I'm going to add that same image to another page and just enlarge it as much as I can. So let's go over here and let's hit right there. And let's hit insert pictures, device. Here we go. Now this should be a much easier to see on the page now. So let's make it, I'm not sure I can make it much bigger. So here's what I'll do. I'll go to wrap text and I'll go to behind text. That'll give me some more freedom. And so what I'll do is really play some games here. So if you look carefully, let me make sure it's on the screen all right. Okay. You'll see a pronged implement right here that's known as the Vajra or Dorje. And we see a bell held upside down. Here's the prong part, and here's the bell. That's known as a ganta, which sounds filthy. A ganta in Sanskrit or a drilbu in Tibetan. So this is what's most important. Within the context of the Ati Yoga teachings, the Vajra represents mindfulness, vulnerable, passive, visceral, random, and fleeting. Our tendency to notice whatever comes up, whether it is a sight, a sound, a sensation, a flavor, a scent, or the like, including the full spectrum of human emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. Whatever comes up, whether that which comes up is external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. The bell reminds us of meditation, of how we relax into our exhalation. Whatever we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, less defining, and even as non-graspable as the tone of a bell, which moment by moment grows quieter and less substantial. Although you can hear it, you can't grab it. Perhaps you remember the fun comedy movie Young Frankenstein, when the first time the creature, played by Peter Boyle, hears Gene Hackman, or someone, I forgot who it was, playing the violin, he's enchanted by the sound of the melody. And he tries plucking it with his hands, plucking the melody out of the air, but he cannot, because sound is resounding yet non-graspable. And that is illustrated by this implement. And so, in a nutshell, resounding yet non-graspable, watching and resting. Because, my friends, what is the key to the most efficient way of practicing mindfulness? What is the most efficient way for us to watch the antics of mind? Well, that is to simply silently and mentally recite the verb watch every time we feel air enter our nostrils. Similarly, the most efficient way to practice meditation, the most efficient way for us to rest in mind's non-graspable aspect, is for us to silently and mentally recite the verb rest every time we feel air exit our nostrils. I'm going to add this to my little word dictionary. And so there you have it. In days of yore, literacy was not as ubiquitous as it is now. And so teachers relied on iconography to remind folks of the teachings. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. For Meditate Like a Jedi is made possible thanks to the generosity of viewers, just like you. For the remainder of this morning's live stream, together as a team, let us sit and breathe and watch and rest. Let us rest the first knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger, palms up in our lap. The moment you have a specific question about the philosophy or techniques of meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window, for I tend to check for questions about once every 5 minutes or so. To help our spine find equilibrium, we could sway forward and back, side to side, and gently twist. The two references to Vajrasattva that stick out to me, or that stand out to me from Vajra's Opus Magus, the spaciousness of Vajrasattva, is this. In the opening verse, it says, "You are Vajrasattva. You are wired to notice and release. You are wired to practice mindfulness and meditation." In another passage, he teaches that all things we experience, the pleasurable, the painful, come from mind, the nature of mind. Our ability to perceive them, our ability to process them. The moment you have a specific question about the philosophy or technique driving meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window, for I tend to check for questions about once every 5 minutes or so. Let us energetically shift gears by resting the first knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. Let us consider mindfulness a great way for us to feel the antics of our body and mind is to silently and mentally recite the verb feel every time we feel our chest swell with breath. A great way for, now let's consider meditation. A great way for us to rest in the non-graspable aspect of mind is for us to silently and mentally recite the verb rest every time we feel our chest subtly sink as gently we exhale. In approximately 11 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's evening lesson, followed by the group practice of meditating like a Jedi. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.